I know Patanjali is coming and making inroad. If Patanjali expands its distribution from this level to this level, how much dent will it make to my brand in the next 1 year? You can do that simulation and you can have a reactive strategy there. So that's where the share among handler comes in. And one last indicator here, just to give you a perspective, is we talked about market share, where the base was all those retail outlets where this category is being sold. The second was share among handlers, where the base was only those stores, only those outlets where my brand is selling from, and not the outlets where category is selling but my brand is not selling. That is being removed. Now the third one is the consumer preference share. So here we are trying to remove the impact of distribution totally, and this is the exact measure of consumer preference. So here what we do is we take only those retail outlets where most of the prominent brands are being stocked. So if I'm talking about toothpaste, I may decide that I'll take only those shops where Colgate, Dabur, Patanjali, and a couple of other prominent brands that I want to decide, all of them are being stocked, and then only in those counters I'll see what is my share. Because there, if a shopper comes to that shop, one has got a choice to buy any of those brands. And in that scenario, the shopper is buying my brand, is the true reflection of what is my consumer pull. So that is the consumer preference share. So we talked about market share, we talked about share among handlers, and we talked about consumer preference share. If we see all these three indicators in conjunction, you'll have a solid plan of whether you want to increase your distribution, and see each of these analysis can be done at the micro market level, in a state, within a specific city, within a state, maybe urban versus rural, a group of districts, and so on and so forth. So it can go to a very, say, sharp shooting exercise at a granular or micro market level. Here I am just skipping. Now, a couple of golden rules of reading RMS, various facts that we talked about, the measures. So like we were talking about, there could be different metrics and they should be read in conjunction. So one unit may be giving you some insight, but if you start tossing it around 2-3 different metrics, you'll make a much better picture and you can shape your strategy. It is very important to read on a trended basis. One point in time information is good, but very important is how is the trend? Is it going up, going down, flattish? Where should you do more, do less? And of course, you have to see it from your practical lens. What is the kind of inner strength that you have? Whether you have capability of going and doing something. Are you bound by some legal agreement? So all those things will also come into picture. So these are the golden rules that one has to see. Just one example, one say dummy data for illustration to see various measures at the same time. So what this slide shows is my brand, which is Y. Its distribution is declining. Numeric distribution is going down. You can see from month 1 to month 7, it has gone from 78% numeric distribution to 72%. Even weighted distribution has gone down. From 88 in month 1, it has gone down to 83, which means that my distribution is declining for sure. Now, what is that reason? I would possibly know. If I don't know, I need to better go and check. Why is my distribution declining? Right? However, while I see that my numeric distribution is declining, my market share is increasing. Right? This is strange. While my distribution reach is going down, quality of distribution is going down, but my market share is increasing. There's a possibility that I have done something remarkably well, either in terms of my product innovation or in terms of my communication strategy, that more consumers are coming and buying my product. So despite distribution going down, my market share volume is going up. There's a possibility that I may have come up with a very strong promotion, consumer promotion. or I have come with a trade promotion where the shopkeepers, the retailers are pushing my product over competition. So while I am present in lesser number of stores, still my share overall is going up. This is a peculiar situation, and these kind of things will give you very strong indication as to what needs to be done, what needs to be done more, what needs to be done less. And this can be done at a granular level, at a micro market basis. So that was just one example. I thought I'll give it to you. Stock turnover ratio, I have not talked about it, but stock turnover ratio basically is whatever stock is at the retail shop, how many days will it last? Suppose hypothetically, if I am not able to supply for whatever reason, recently we saw that incident of COVID coming in. So think of maybe March of 24th, 2020, when the lockdown was announced. Now after that, I was not able to supply to the retail shops for whatever reason. It could be confusion, it could be lack of awareness. My transport was not up to the mark. My boys were not, able to reach my godown or distributor or whatever. I was not able to supply to the retail shops. Now, in those specific situations, a stock turnover ratio will tell you that whatever stock is lying in the retail shelves, how many days will it sustain? And once it goes to a zero level, consumer demand can still be there. People will come and ask for that product. There was no supply from the distributors or wholesale end. Then my stock level at the retail will start depleting, and beyond a point, it will become a stock out situation. So RMS can also give you a very strong indication of how many shops or what percentage of shops were you out of stock in a given month, both in numeric terms and in weighted distribution terms. Very strong indicator, because if you are out of stock in X percentage of shops, that opportunity is lost. Because in those shops, if your loyal customer comes and asks for the brand and did not find it, there's always a possibility that the shopper will go and buy something else, some other brand, maybe a competition. That is an opportunity loss, right? So these are the some of the high level usage of retail measurement system. And you can do various implication. In this case, the inference that you're drawing out is the brand has good demand, but it is not able to replenish its stock because the stock turnover ratio is also going down. So demand is there. So ideally, you should quickly replenish your stock, and STR should actually go up and not go down. And if the same situation continues, it may lead to an out of stock situation, which will be detrimental for your brand. So you better act on this market and start seeing that if the market share is going up, support with stock turnover ratio, we should be actually moving either at the flat level or higher level. And if distribution is not making a direct impact here, you can study and read this carefully, because there's a chance that you were reaching to a lot of outlets which were not making a lot of sense for you. So it is better to concentrate your act only on those shops which matter and give you a market share volume gain. So that's the kind of inference you can draw out of it. Now, I'll stop there.
For a moment, Samirji, I wish to add my experience on this availability of stock on the retail outlet. In year 1998, one of my friends are working in a Colgate, that's a company, the product of Colgate. Then another is a Pepsodent and Prudent, the other product is there. So they try to create artificial shortage. They want to raise the price of product. And that artificial shortage gave him a setback and allowed to enter the other competitor product. Because as you said, the shopper, if the shopkeeper do not have a Colgate and shopper offer them a Dabur, Prudent or any other product or Pepsodent, then shopper said, okay, after 1 month or 2 months, I will take another packet. So he start using that. And it's doing the repetition of 2-3 months. Now shopper have a habit to change the brand.
Yeah.
Number one, it was happened in 98, 99. We make it a case study on it. And then in 2007, I'm sharing one of the experience, Coke versus Pepsi, because everybody knows they are a big giant of fighter of each other, but positive fighter. They never cut throat. There is one movie, Company, is created on something resemble with this. So, or there, the availability of stock, the timing of availability of stock, what the sales engineer, what he did in the area of Noida, Khoda, the nearby remote area of the Delhi NCR, the early morning 7 o'clock, most of the trucks, because here is a Devyani Beverage, Varun Beverage, they are a supplier and manufacturer of this Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
So what they do, they normally the supply started 7 a.m. towards the various shops and all, and then they start collecting their empty bottle evening 7 o'clock. There is a schedule.
Yeah.
So what the competitor Pepsi do that, they started supply. First they started collect the empty bottle at 4 o'clock evening, and they ask for the retailer, whatsoever you have empty, either Pepsi, Fanta, whatever, you give it to us.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, I give it to you. And then again, early in the morning, 3 o'clock, they are ready their trucks to delivery in all the night. And 3 o'clock, they deliver the entire stock in the same shop. Now, Coke is replaced with the Pepsi. And being a shopper, if I say a black, I normally don't Kala Pani, not a black Pepsi, whatever. Kala Pani. So Kala Pani, he said, I asked, you have a Coke? He said, don't. I have a thumbs up or I have a Pepsi. Okay, give us. Because shopper are never take a pain, because that utility of product like a Coke and Pepsi is same. Just at 10% or 20%, there's no loyalty about for the drinker. Don't have a liability except that alcohol only. So these are two live example which share with me my the friends. Those are working in the same on the working the Colgate. It's fantastic. Good to hear that entire.
Yeah, very good examples. Very excellent examples, and there are many. I mean, so like you talked about Coke and Pepsi. So there are certain categories where in-store visibility makes a lot of sense, right? And there's a saying in Hindi, "Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai," right? So a lot of these companies who operate in these categories, they would invest a lot of money to ensure that there is enough visibility for their brand. And there is a lot of research work being done in terms of one, understanding in-store visibility, what factor will work more than others. That one needs to know. And again, it will vary from one geography to another, one counter type to another, a D-shaped counter to an L-shaped counter. I mean, these things will have to go for more sophistication as to what works, what does not work. Second, once you know what works, what does not work, then you need to see as to what is the adherence. Whether whatever investment you are making. So, for example, if say a cola manufacturer has put a visi-cooler. Now, whether the visi-cooler is talking only my brand or it is talking the competition brand also. You may feel, you will find that a lot of visi-coolers will be stocking butter and dahi and other things, curd and all. So these are the things that the manufacturers and distributors will spend a lot of money to ensure that the adherence is there, and then they can build analytics on top of that to do more similar efforts. So thank you for that example, Dr. Arora. And any other question or any other observation from anybody? Because then we'll move to...
Yes, everyone, it's an open platform for each and everyone.
Yeah. Same examples were for Fruity and Maaza, Tetra Packs.
Yeah, surely.
For Fruity and Maaza Tetra Packs, the retailers used to sell Maaza in place of Fruity, saying it's a mango drink.
Yeah, you're right. And see, especially in markets like India, where consumer awareness and consumer loyalty is not very strong. So if I have a need at that point in time to go for a mango drink, now that is Maaza or a Fruity or any other brand, I may still have a preference, but that preference may not be strong enough for me to not go for another brand if my preferred brand is not available. So these are the factors that marketers also keep on looking at it very closely. And also here we're comparing, say, two brands or two products within the same category. There could be changes across the category also. If I'm not getting, say, a preferred mango drink, then I may shift to a cola also, like the Kala Pani that Dr. Arora was saying. Or I may shift to maybe a simple glass of bottle of water. So, I mean, that shift also happens. So when we work with manufacturers and brands, we would see a specific brand activity, not only within the category that they operate in, but also in the super category. So there would be interface between, say, biscuits and salty snacks, or maybe noodles and biscuits. So these are adjacent categories, and a lot of this kind of inter-category shift also happens at a specific point in time, on specific occasions, and even more permanent shifts. So we have to be very, very careful and close to that. Any other observation or question?
Sir, when the pandemic started in March, when it was freshly introduced, the Dettol black antiseptic thing was out of stock in so many places. So therefore, the green one, of course, I am taking my own example, I had to buy that. So I think that's something in context, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, when the pandemic hit us, it was almost all of a sudden. And India was another typical example where the government did not give enough time to react, right? So whether it is a supplier, a manufacturer, or a distributor, or a retailer, almost everybody was caught unaware of. And that is why a lot of brands which could not produce, even knowing very well that there will be a strong demand from the consumer side, they could not produce. Even if they were able to produce, they could not distribute to the right retail level and all. So these were very, very genuine constraints that, say, a lot of manufacturers had to face. But the most important thing that happened is, and that's the power of insights and data, and reading that insight and gauging the right kind of opportunity, is a lot of manufacturers in the month of April, they went a bit slow. And they followed a strategy of wait and watch. Okay, let me see for another, say, few weeks, and then I'll say go and say put a lot of weight on my production system. Because the production system also needed some bit of changes for social distancing, getting the laborer from there, where they will stay, to the factory site, making more specific provisions of safety and other things in the premises and all. So some of the manufacturers could gauge this trend early enough. They invested in time and they were ready. The moment market was open, they started production in full flow. While others who waited and watched, they had to go through a phase where they knew that the demand is there for that product in the market, but they could not supply. Or they could supply only after a couple of weeks. So that opportunity which was lost would have much more far-reaching impact as compared to what they would have lost only in that point in time. So very, very, say, serious implications one may have in case if you're not, one, say, having access to this kind of information, and second, if you're not close enough to what is happening and take quick and agile action to combat any eventuality. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll have a simple case, and I was thinking aloud as to what would be the modality, how can we do it. So I can share this link with you all in the chat window, and you can access to this case which is in the Google Sheet That is one option. And the second option is it's a simple case. I wanted to make it light, not very strong. So it is here also. If you want to read through the screen, you can do that. So do you want to say read through the screen, or you want access to the Google document? Is this visible? Is this clear enough?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why don't you just go through this case for the next 5 minutes, and I have a few questions that will go through it, right? So while going through the case, just one request is, when you're going through the case, try and make some notes in your pad as to what are the salient things that you're observing that is happening in this example. It is a case of food beverages, where the brands of Horlicks, Bonvita, and Complan are the prominent players. And what has happened a couple of years back, this is a slightly old, and data is also a dummy data. But just wait through the case, and then we can have a couple of questions.
Sure, sir.
So have you gone through the case? Just two quick points. One is you can see in the first bullet point that the value of this milk food drinks category at 4,000 crore was for the period MAT June 2012, right? MAT is actually the short form for moving annual total. So a moving annual total is nothing but 12 months before this time. So a MAT June 2012 means that the total sales from July of 2011 to June of 2012. So 12 months period is called moving annual total, right? So that was one. The second is a small misprint in the third bullet point. The last line says that the challenges clocked value sales of 455 and 465. That is in crores. That is not in rupees only. That is crores. So have you gone through the case? Now,
Yes.
everybody has gone through the case.
Yes.
It's a simple case, right? Okay. So now let me put a few questions, right? And don't look at question 2 and 3. Just focus on question 1 after another. So question 1 says, calculate the current market share of Bonvita brand in India. Calculate the current market share of Bonvita in India, which is for the MAT June 2012 period. Can you calculate that? Market share of Bournvita in MAT June 2012 period. Whoever does it, please put in the chat window.
First one get the extraordinary certificate. Yeah, fast. I think even then this Bournvita is not consumed in east and south, comparatively north and west, but I expect the answer come from south first, because the north, the people in the north, they are good in a wrestling, fighting, and there's a which needs a heavy body. In the south, where there's a brain, they are good in a chess, they are good in a technical players, they are good in a video games. Yeah,
I've seen two answers in the chat window.
yeah, we got the answer from north 15, answer from south 15.
But south answer is saying about 15%.
Yeah, yeah, ABT.
About, or is it exact 15?
Dr. V.Y. Chan.
It's a guess, sir. I mean, roundabout, I'm approximating, not exact answer.
Okay.
So what was the formula you used, Dr. John?
I have just simply taken out of the total 4,000 crore, which you said as MAT. I mean, the relative share of the Bournvita, sir. That's it. I didn't go beyond that. Sorry.
So what was the formula you have used? 4,000 is the denominator. What is the numerator?
Then 600 crore by 4,000 crore into 100 approximated, sir. That's it.
But there's no question of approximation. It is exact 15.
Okay.
If you knock off those two zeros, then it is 40 upon 6 into 100.
Yeah.
I think we are born on 71 to 75. On that time, Bournvita was very famous.
Okay. It also depends on which part of India were you born.
Yeah. Because complain, we ask about, you are a complaining boy, so use complain, then you can become complain boy.
Yeah, that's right. So you're right. I think it's simple. Market share formula said that sale of my brand, which is 600 crore in this case, for Bournvita, divided by sale of the category is 4,000 into 100, and that is 15%. Right? Simple. Now, second question is, what are your high-level inferences on the competitive category landscape? So what do you see from this case? What is happening over the last 2-3 years? What has happened in this category? Can somebody put in the chat window, what is your high-level inference? What is happening in this category?
Yes, guys, come fast. Dr. V.Y. John, the very effective certificate for him. Product packaging has changed a lot.
But product packaging is not here in the case. You have to limit your answer only from what you read in this case.
Because now we have Bournvita.
Any other information can be misleading, including product packaging. Whatever is given in this case, you have to derive your inference based on that. So the way you will read this, let me give you a couple of cues. So we are told in the first bullet point that the category has been growing at about 10%. CAGR is compounded annual growth rate. So every year the category is growing at around 10%, right? So 4,000 crore in 2012, about a year back could be 3,600. Before that it would be about 3,100 and so on, right? So it is growing at 10% CAGR. Now, we just calculated the Bournvita share maybe now is 600 on 4,000, that is 15%. 3 years back, right? What was it? 3 years back, Bonvita had 455, right? And at the time, the category was 3,000. So Bonvita's share 3 years back was 465 on 3,000, which means that it was significantly lower, or sorry, 455 on 3,000, which means that it was significantly lower than 15%. It was only about 12%, 11-12%. So from 11-12% 3 years back share, they have come to 15%, which means that Bonvita has grown very fast, right? And has it grown faster than Complan in 3 years? The answer is yes, because from 455 3 years back, they have come to 600, and Complan has moved from 465 to 600. So Complan's growth has been slightly slower than what Bonvita has done. That is one big inference that you're drawing. The second inference you're drawing is that if you combine the share of the top 3 brands, Horlicks, Bonvita, and Complan, what do you get now? 1750 on 4,000, which is Horlicks share. And if you add Bonvita and Complan, so the total will be about 75, right? And back then, the share of the other players, which is 25% now, it was higher than that. If you do the calculation, you'll find that. So these are some of the inferences you can draw. So that's the very basic level analysis you can do. Now see the third question, where it is asked that what is Bonvita's current distribution strength vis-a-vis competition? So it is asking about the distribution strength of Bonvita versus the competition brands. And is there any opportunity to grow in any of these zones? Now for this question, you will need some more information about distribution, which is given here. So this is giving the ND percentage, numeric distribution, and it is giving for each zones, north, west, east, and south. And the 3 brands, Bonvita in blue, Horlicks in amber, and Complan in purple. So what it is giving is how has the numeric distribution moved across the 4 zones. So if you see, Bonvita has got a decent numeric distribution in north and west, right? This is C76 and 89, but very poor in east and south. And in east and south, Horlicks is dominating. Horlicks is using almost 92%. Almost every shop stocking healthful drinks in east has Horlicks. And again, very high percentage, 83, but south also. But in west and north, they are very small. They don't have so much of wide distribution, and they are lower than Bonvita. While in east and south, they are far ahead of Bonvita, right? And Complan has got a national strategy. Sorry. So you can see Complan is almost maintaining similar distribution strength across the 4 zones. You can clearly see the 3 brands are following different distribution strategy. Horlicks is very strong and maintaining its strength in east and south. Bonvita has pushed themselves very hard in north and west. And Complan is, while the number 3, but it is almost 30 to 43 range in the 4 regions. And in south and east, Bonvita is weaker than Complan also. These are the inferences you can draw. Now, if Bonvita to grow in other zones, of course, Bonvita has opportunity to grow. So they are the least distributed. If they can reach to 89% of numeric distribution in west, why would they, or why should they limit to only 22, 28 in east or 22 in south? They can try and boost their distribution and that will give them extra volume and maybe extra market share also. So that's on the distribution. Let's go to the fourth question. It says,
just I wish to share one more thing.
yeah.
I think sometime a punchline, I remember the punchline, because even then from last 4 or 5 years, I am not looking at television, just taking information from magazine and all. If you remember the punchline of Bonvita, it's called Tan ki Shakti, Man ki Shakti Bonvita, not a Buddhi ki Shakti. So if you see in the north and west, people are physically good, and this one, Man ki other. If you see the people in the east and west, they are very good brain. So once the people in the east and west, they can thought about ki Bonvita will cannot give a brain, building a brain. So might be this can be as an observation, simple observation. If you remember, Tan ki Shakti only and Man ki Shakti.
So very valid an example. And if you just say link this to the 3R framework that we discussed in the morning, the 3R: reach, resonance, reaction, right?
Yeah.
So if Tan ki Shakti, Man ki Shakti, Bonvita, if that communication, one has to measure as to how many target group is it reaching.
Yeah.
And is it resonating with North people much or South people much? You can measure that, because if it is on the national TV, people in South or North or East or West, everybody is looking at it.
Yeah.
So you can see that what is the reach of this ad campaign and how is it resonating in different parts of the country, different target groups, young, old, mothers and all, right? And how is it reflecting in reaction, which is the purchase. So when they would have come with this ad for the first time, if it had shown a huge market share gain or volume growth, then they would say, okay, fine. It is not only resonating, it is converting into behavior also, which is the reaction part. So the 3R framework can be used very, very, say, aptly in this scenario.
Yeah, I think Sachin gave or Sehwag gave it's our energy, secret of boost. That's what the boost.
Yeah, that's again from the same company of Horlicks.
Okay.
Is,
yes. He said it is a boost is the secret of my energy. He said no, it's our energy.
Our energy.
That's nice. Go on, continue.
Yeah. So moving on the last 3 questions. So the 4th question says, what inferences can be drawn for Bonvita in South and East zones? Is there an to grow, right? So what is it giving? It is giving you the additional information on weighted distribution. And the way it works in the practical scenario is, if this question is there in the marketing head's mind, then the analyst, the consultant from Nielsen would say that for answering this question, you have to first see what is the weighted distribution scenario. And see, since you're looking at South and East, let us see what is the weighted distribution scenario for the competitive brands in East and South. And what does it say? It is saying that Bonvita in East has got a weight. So here we were talking about the numeric distribution, which is the absolute reach. Now we are talking about the weighted distribution. So it is saying that Bonvita is reaching to only 57% of weighted distribution in East as compared to almost 100% for Horlicks. So Horlicks is hardly, there are hardly any shops also. There could be only 3% contributing shops, which will be very, very small shops where Horlicks is not there in South or East, but rest everybody, each and every outlet is stocking Horlicks. And that's why the weighted distribution is almost close to 100. Complan is also at a pretty significant gap or lead as compared to Bonvita. So Bonvita has got huge opportunity to increase weighted distribution and go closer to Complan and maybe surpass it, and that will give it a huge opportunity to grow. So is there an opportunity to grow here? Of course, there's an opportunity. because there's a huge headroom for weighted distribution of Bournvita. And even if it does not touch Horlicks, it can definitely target a Complan. And even that 16-point gap here and 10-point gap here will give a significant mileage for Bournvita in these two markets.
Yeah, one thing I observed that Horlicks have a 10 rupees pouches also. But I didn't saw the pouch of Bournvita.
Yeah.
I'm requesting to each and everyone from North, East, South, West and everywhere. Have you seen the pouches of 10 rupees pouches of Bournvita? Because I saw the pouches of Horlicks in the shop. So might be this is the approach, different approach of packaging by the companies. Pankaj Kumar Singh want to say something. And one more thing, IAS officer, IPS officer, they came from South and East, if we calculate. Huh? So,
Yeah.
line must be added by the Bournvita. Bournvita buddhi ka bhi vikas karta hai. So then they should get a market in the East also. Tan ki shakti, man ki shakti is only in Haryana, Delhi, Punjab. We can see that.
Sir, one thing I want to share.
Yeah, Pankaj ji, most welcome. Happy to see you, man.
Dr. Pankaj Kumar Singh from IIT BHU.
Yeah, Pankaj ji, boliye.
One thing I want to share about the Bournvita or Horlicks or Boost, whatever the companies they are providing. When we go on to the composition, in the composition point of view, whatever the body requires, that is nicely made by the Horlicks as compared to other what I found in the Bournvita or the Boost or other companies. This is one point. Another point is initially they were providing some gift and other things. It is costly as compared to the other brands, but they are providing the gifts initially. But this time they are not giving. This is also a second thing that they are having the good marketing field. And as this way, this is going to more successful as compared to the other companies. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is something which is, Pankaj ji, very, very good observation. Thanks for sharing. But this is something which you are saying with an assumption, maybe some anecdotal evidence also you may have, but you don't have an empirical evidence, right? True or not?
No, sir. I don't know. But I've seen the empirical that you shown the composition. I have calculated that.
Composition I'm not commenting on. Nice. Composition, you may be right. But see, the fact is, in this age of marketing science, how many consumers would be going and seeing the composition and figuring out as to what it is, right? While it is also a time of, say, social media and blog posts and people talk plus or minus of each brand. But the larger question here is, the second point that you made is this would have given them benefit because they were giving gifts or whatever. Now, that is where you have to go for empirical evidence, which RMS can provide. It will tell you that when the gifts were being given, what was the incremental sale that the brand got, right? And when the gift is not being given, what is the impact that the sales has suffered, right? Now, if you have these two data points, then you can very pinpointedly calculate whether I should go for such an expensive gift, or it may even tell you something which is very, very, say, counterintuitive, and it may tell you that whether I give a gift or I don't give a gift, there's hardly any difference. Which means that if the consumer is getting that gift, they are happy. But even if there's no gift with this brand, still the consumer is preferring this brand also only because of some other reasons. And they're not switching to competition, or they're not buying less. Then your decision to go for a gift, an expensive gift, a low value gift, no gift, will become stronger. Right or wrong?
Yes, correct. But one thing I want to share. The Horlicks that was providing gift not on the all brands, only to those brands which are related to the children's. like they need a sketch pen, drawing book, and other things they are providing. They are not taking interest in the mature ones, or the person who are a higher age group.
Yeah.
They are taking as it is.
Yeah. So the Horlicks, which was targeted for women or for adults, their contribution is very, very small, right? Out of the total Horlicks sales, the non-kids segment would be only about 8 or 10%. So they will always see, and these are very, very important information that one needs to see, because they would also have to see in the non-kid segment, how am I performing vis-a-vis competition? And in different kind of formats, how am I performing with vis-a-vis competition? So that micro level information will give you right direction as to what needs to be done on a tactical basis, or even take a strategic call.
So, Miki, I would like to add something.
So
I'm living in Ghaziabad, in Rajnagar Extension. What Nestle has done right now, through the website that is your milk basket, they have distributed Nestle Milo half kg pack as samples to every household. And I suppose there are around 20,000, 30,000 families living over there. This is the marketing study they have adopted.
yeah, very true, and thanks for sharing.
To everyone, even children and females.
Yeah, so what see, this is basically a marketing operation which is pretty common, which is known as sampling, right? So what these manufacturers and brands do is what is the purpose of this sampling? The purpose of sampling is to induce trial, right? So I may have launched Milo. It is available in the shops, but from various research, I am finding out that either people are not aware of what Milo is, or they are not convinced with its say positives, or for whatever reason they have not tried it. So if they don't try, then they will not go for a repeat purchase. So sampling is basically a common methodology to induce trial among your target segment, right? So if they feel that Ghaziabad is a market where I can test this, and for inducing this trial, they are willing to give free sample. If you go to a modern format store, you'll find that there will be various, say, young boys and girls with a tray and moving around and giving you some, why don't you taste this? Ye achar hai, ye dips hai, ye sauce hai. You would have seen that. This is basically sampling, right? So sampling is basically to induce trial, gauge reaction,
Effective.
and then
My son, he was using Bonvita for last 7 years, and he has switched to Milo. He says the taste is good, I'll drink. And similarly for others, the people living around me, they are also saying that their children have preferred Milo over others.
So which means that when Milo would have done, say, market research in a, say, testing environment, when they would have called, say, 50 kids, youngsters, and they would have given Milo and they would have given Horlicks, or they would have given, say, 3-4 different drinks and had asked, which one do you like? And if quite a few children would have said, yeah, I like Milo. And this will be without showing the brand name, right? Now, if the research had told them that almost 25% of the children who were being given different type of drinks, including the number 1 and number 2 drink in that market, which one did they prefer? They found that 25% preferred Milo, which means that if you can induce trial, chances are people will like it and they will ask for another purchase. So first time, there's an inertia that needs to be broken by a free sample. Free sample with an assumption that they will consume it. There's a chance that free sample only 70% consume, 30% give it to their maid or somebody else, right? But even 70%, to the sale for that brand. That's the basic purpose of sampling, right? Now, I'm just aware of, it is 2:51 now. So we have about 15-20 minutes. So if you have any question on the earlier section that we have discussed about, we can spend some time on that. Otherwise, maybe last 10-15 minutes, if you want, I can just talk about some of the latest trends in marketing research. And this will be the last section.
Yes, I am happy that Dr. Pankaj came on video now. Dr. Ankit Prashant is with us. It's truly become a very interactive session. What is our dream? Our dream to make it interactive. Thank you so much. Those are video.
Yes.
Dr. Pankaj, thank you so much. Dr. Ankit, would you like to share something?
No, it's a pleasure being part of it and for these very informative sessions. So yeah, it's really a pleasure.
You are from, sir?
I work for a telecom operator right now, and I had their IoT division.
Ankit sir, just a moment. Can I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Arora sir?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be in the last for vote of thanks.
So nice. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good, great.
Okay, so should we shift to this last section? I got just one slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have talked about a couple of say trends and new things that we have been witnessing as far as market research is concerned, and these trends are not limited to India. Some of them are global trends. The other good thing is some of these trends, India or Indian market has been the lighthouse. So the trends started from India, and now they are being exported to other markets. Some of them, say, I'm personally privileged to be a part of while launching in India and then exporting to other markets. So a couple of them. So one thing which is changing very fast is research is gradually moving and has already moved quite a bit from asking to listening or observation, right? So in traditional research, if somebody has to do something, one would go, an interviewer or a researcher will go to a respondent and ask a question, right? Now, that is changing pretty fast, because one thing which has been noticed and observed more and more is in any environment, when a interviewer asks a question to a respondent, the respondent first, with whatever, say, intellect or understanding one has as a respondent, would look at the interviewer, who is he or she, what is the question being asked. They will see all around as to who all are listening to what I'm about to say. And this process will go within fraction of seconds in one's mind, and then they will articulate their answer, right? Now, that was one of the biggest challenges that, say, research was facing. While there were various tools to, say, figure out outliers, who's faking, who's not true and honest in terms of response and all. But yeah, this was one of the noise which used to be something which was a big concern for the marketing research fraternity. Now, there is a fair bit of focus on observation and listening. Social media, for example. Social media is something which is giving you tons of information about what people think, what people perceive, and what people say, and in which tonality do they say. So a lot of tools of web scraping, social media and other digital mediums, a lot of tools which are based on observation. And while if somebody has been a student of anthropology, the anthropologist will go and spend, say, a significant amount of time, maybe some cases running over years in the contact of indigenous community, and do ethnographic reports on culture, tradition, rituals, customs, and so on and so forth. So That philosophy is being imbibed in the marketing research community also. May not be running into months of stay or years of stay with the target respondent, but maybe staying for a week in the village, or maybe a specific community, or maybe spending a day with the say respondent group, and doing the ethnographic say tools to observe what is happening and devise marketing say recommendation and consulting is something which is happening more and more. Web scraping is not only limited to social media, but a lot of say shopping habits, and this is also being used by a lot of say machine learning tools on recommendation, classification, segmentation. So for example, if you want to go for a cab aggregator, so you go in your mobile phone app and go and search what is happening on Ola for a distance, what's the kind of fare, and then you shift to Uber and see what is the fare there, what is the kind of say changes, and you may toss 1 or 2 times, and then you go for one. So there are various tools available which can say give enough insight on what's the kind of shopping route that one takes, whether it is to avail a service, to buy a product, or even say look at the online space, do research and do final shopping from offline. So various observations and listening tools are being used more and more, and this is being used across the sectors and industries. So that's one big change that is happening. The second one is movement from offline to online, and this was something which had been happening for a few years, and all different market research agencies also wanted to say catch up on this game and expedite conversion from offline mode to online mode, because online mode has got various advantages on time, cost, quality, and so on and so forth. And there are certain challenges which have to be overcome, and one has to go for offline research only. But maybe a hybrid, a combination of online and offline, is something which most of the research agencies with various tools were being people were going for. Now during the pandemic, where physical contact or reaching out to a respondent was not easy, and also even if it was possible, the respondent was also not very comfortable say entertaining a researcher in her or his premises, shop, or even a market, or say intercept anywhere else. So this COVID-19 has actually given a tailwind in a way for conversion from offline to online. And to, as a matter of fact, I mean, as researchers, quantitative techniques and the qualitative techniques, we had always thought of that it is easier for the quantitative techniques to move from offline to online first, and qual will probably take some more time. But we have seen in the recent months that we have been able to do qualitative research also, focus group discussions, in-depth interviews, and so on and so forth in a quite efficient way using online tools. And online has really caught up, and significant thrust has come from COVID-19 pandemic too. So movement from face-to-face to computer-aided personal interviews, and now more towards online and observation ethnography is one big trend that we are seeing. We talked about neurosciences earlier. I won't spend more time on that, but that's another area where a lot of research is being done. And neurosciences-based research need not be done in a lab, in a physical lab. And for example, Nielsen has got a couple of labs, but there are now, say, portable instruments which can be taken to a village or anywhere else, right? So these are some of the trends, and this is another big one. So use of artificial intelligence. So there are various ways by which artificial intelligence is changing the game. And this is coming on the back of two important things that have happened in the last 10-15 years. which has popularized artificial intelligence and machine learning. And these two main factors are, number one, the speed of computing has gone up. So what we were not able to say visualize using our human capacity, machine can do it with a click of a button. And the second important factor which has helped artificial intelligence and machine learning is the data storage cost has significantly gone down. So the kind of money that we used to spend to store data was humongous, and that has also given a big boost. And also with the advent of shared platforms and all on the cloud too, this has become even a bigger benefit. So in artificial intelligence, what is happening is, and just to give you a line on what it is and the way it should be understood is, see, all of us have got intrinsic and natural intelligence. So what we do is, whenever we do something as an individual or a team, we perform an activity, and that activity we may not be noting it down in exact form. We don't have a tabulated data of what we have observed yesterday or last year same day or 3 years back, but based on those observations, human mind makes up a mental model, and whenever an opportunity in the future comes, the mental model helps our brain and ourselves, and using natural intelligence we take an action in whichever form we take. That's the use of natural intelligence. In artificial intelligence, the significant difference, while the overall model is the same, here all those observations from the historical events, they are being documented, whatever it is. So let's take an example. If you have to go from your home to your office, you can take road A, you can take road B, you can take road C also. And you would have taken road A, B, and C many number of times in the past 1 year, 2 year, 5 years. And using that data in your mental model, on a given day when you have to reach the office in 25 minutes, you will take a call, whether I should take route A, route B, or route C, keeping in view that this route will have 2 red signals, this will have 5 signals, this route can reach me to my office within 15 minutes, but on a bad day it may take 25 minutes also. But this route may take 20 minutes, but the dispersion is lower, so you can take a call accordingly, even while you have not noted down those observations for the past 1 year or 2 years or 5 years. In artificial intelligence, you will just document each and every event. Every day you go to the office, you say I took route A, I had 5 signals, signal A took 30 seconds, signal B took no second, it was green, and so on and so forth. And that will be fed into the model, and machine will help us take the decision the next time. So the next time when you go to the office, you got only 20 minutes, very important meeting. With the help of data, machine will do that calculation and tell you that this is what you should do. And possibly they will take care of a couple of other data points, which is maybe a Google map, maybe the traffic on a specific area, what is the blockage which may be encountered, and so on and so forth. So that's basically what artificial intelligence is. And in terms of usage in marketing research, there are various fields that it is being used, and quite abundantly now. So whether it is in terms of computer vision, where one can identify what is there on the shop shelf, to maybe using of bots in various products and services, to recommendation, to segmentation. So all of us are now using OTT platforms quite a bit. So if you go to any OTT platform, you'll see that n number of recommendations come. That's basically artificial intelligence, which will take care of information which has been acquired not only by what you have displayed as your content preference, but also by taking information from people of your type, what have they preferred, and using that they will recommend what needs to be watched by you. So a lot of application of AI. I won't go into more detail, but any say questions on any of these latest trends or any observation, please feel free to share.
Yeah, platform is open for all. You're most welcome, everyone. Just add your views or any question.
Okay, so I think with that I would end my session. My coordinates are with Rocky and with the MIT coordination team. I would be happy to take any questions, any follow-up from your side. So please feel free to reach out to me. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Team MIT, AICTE, for offering me this opportunity. It was a great experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samirji. It was very informative and self-descriptive.
Dear participants, if you are having any queries, you can ask from our resource person, Mr. Samir Shukla.
Sir, what is the ideal time required to gauge the demand of a retail product in the FMCG sector? I mean, the past historical research period, how much time would be ideal?
So when you say ideal time, can you just elaborate as to what's the exact time that you are asking about? Time for what?
Nice, sir. To predict the demand of a particular, say, FMCG product, as per your experience, what is the ideal historical time period of research you look into?
So when you have to say, when you're saying, say, projecting the demand, I would say to size the opportunity. What is the opportunity size at any given point in time, right? If that is the question, is that the question?
Sir, can you come again, sir?
No, I was saying that by demand, if I'm articulating it in this manner, where I'm saying money will this product make? Is that the question?
Sorry, sir, your voice is breaking. I couldn't get you. Sorry.
Others, please mute yourself.
So are others able to hear me, or is it only? Am I audible to others?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, so I think there's some network problem at.
Yeah, now you are audible, sir. Now you are audible.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can go on mute for a moment, then echo will probably go off. Yeah. So I was saying that if I articulate the demand part of your question, in the sense that at a given point in time, what is the size of opportunity? How many crores of rupees or how many lakhs of rupees I can make in a given scenario? That information is available. I mean, from the data, you just have to analyze it in the right context. It takes only a few days, and you will create the size of price. If you go with this, how much money will you be able to make it? You can get a range. You may be slightly off 5%, 10%, 20% here and there, but you'll get a decent, say, size of opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Yeah, go ahead.
Any other queries, please?
Okay, then Vaishali ma'am, should we close the session or?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, Samir sir. It was a very nice interaction. I think Dev sir would like to say something.
I think so many things shared by Samir Shukla ji, and sometime we attach with our daily purchase, daily needs. Talk about the FMCG products, the fast moving consumer goods. So nothing is too much to say now. And really, it's a very heart touching session which I attended a full fledged here, because in a college we have many works, so many calls are here and there, but today we get ample opportunity to listen a speaker from industry, which was our aim, that in this short-term training program we are happy to invite a speaker from 50% speaker from industry and 50% from the academia, to give a very different flavor to each and every one. And I hope that this session is a very useful for the management learner. I'm talking about faculty member and as well as the management students. I use the terminology management learner, and management learner always learn from each and every aspect, even then for their daily routine work also. And truly, we are very grateful to Samir Shukla ji, who he spare his valuable time for all of us. And I love to share this video with the kind permission of Samir Shukla ji. So many senior students, those truly make their career in research. Truly, they want to make their career in a marketing research. So thank you, Samir ji. And anything else? I think Vaishali, you are a convener of this entire show. So let us over to you and invite our special guest of the day. And I wish to introduce we are very lucky today that we have a very special guest from Delhi also. Shri Narayan Karanji is with us. Narayan ji, please give you a big smile and just raise your hand. Narayan Karanji is a president of International Delhi Public School Society. I am talking about International Delhi Public School Society. In his society, they run International Delhi Public School in the various corner of India, more than 80 plus. Correct me, Karan Saab, if I am wrong. So he's a special guest for this valedictory session. Thank you so much. Over to Vaishali.
So for the valedictory session, we are having with us Mr. Ankit Srivastava. Let me introduce him. Mr. Ankit is having 20 years of experience working with IT organization focused on telecom sector. He was chief architect and program manager at Wipro. He has worked with large European customers and has led large technology transformation programs. He is currently working as GM in a leading telecom MNC and heads IoT engineering initiative. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Ankit, sir.
Thank you, Vaishali ma'am. And good afternoon to everyone, and to our most valued guests, worthy teachers, professors, management committee, and future leaders. It is my privilege here today to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks for this occasion. And I would really say a very, very interactive and informative sessions that all of you have gone through over the past few days. I, on behalf of Merit Institute of Technology and Management, MBA department, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to guest speakers who have spared time from their busy schedule to grace this occasion and share us opinion and finding during this present time. I would like to thank our distinguished speakers, Dr. Sanjeev Mittal, Professor of Management and Director Academics Affairs, University's School of Management Studies, Delhi, for discussing about importance of research. Dr. Varun Jharkaria, Director of Hitman Integrated Logistics Service, New Delhi, for sharing his knowledge and briefing us about export-import documentation and recent developments. Dr. Poonam Kumar, Professor IIM Sambalpur, for her thoughts about problem formulation in research and systematic literature review. Dr. Arun Bharti, founder and director, Reheal Clinics and Reheal Consultants, Gurgaon, for detailed discussion on healthcare research in India, which is a very vital during the current pandemic times. Dr. Mayank Sachan, VP Interest Rate Option Desk, Goldman Sachs, New York, who discussed in detail about investments and option trading. Dr. Shaleen Rube, Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi. He discussed with us about a case study in supply chain management, especially the Mumbai Dabbawala case. Dr. Ganesh Singh, Professor and Program Director, Foundation Course, AIMA, AMU, for briefing us about case study research, design and methods. At last, Dr. Samir Shukla, Ex-Director, Retail Intelligence, South Asia, Nelson Global Connect, Mumbai, for very informative session on retail research. I thank all the resources persons for making an excellent presentation and making this seminar a very meaningful and interesting. I am sure it has been an accelerating experience for all participants to have such valued perspective, both from industry champions and academia. I also extend thanks to all teachers for their cooperation in the institute of this function. Events like this cannot happen overnight. So as the wheel starts rolling weeks ago and requires planning and bird eye view for details, here we are fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very dedicated and motivated team of MIT MBA who know their task and they are very much result oriented. I thank Dr. Devendra Arora, Dean MBA, the coordinators, Dr. Vaishali and Dr. Priyanka, and Professor Rocky Sachan for organizing such an informative sessions. I cannot thank everyone enough for their willingness and involvement to take on the completion of work beyond comfort zone. There is much varying on the vote of thanks to express my motion that fits the atmosphere right. I once again want to state that we are very grateful to all our speakers. We thank you all for being with us this time. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much for making this event a resounding success. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ankit ji. It's quite grateful to you. I request to Ankit Karamji just give their wishes to all of our team, and truly vote of thanks is given by the Ankit Prashantji. He is not a guest, he is a host of our family. Thank you so much, Ankit ji. Now Narayan Karanji, please. Sir, unmute mic, sir. Yeah.
Hello. Can you speak? Hello. Can you listen, everyone?
Yes, sir. Prabhuji, we can listen.
So, very good afternoon, all of you. And this is my hello.
Sir, you are audible.
Might be network issues there.
Yes, sir.
Because Delhi is sealed from all of the borders. Might be internet can be sealed. It's okay. Yeah, please, sir. Continue, sir.
Hello. So I think network is very disturbing here.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, good afternoon, all of you, and my heartiest congratulations for the amazing session, the great session. Mr. Arora, he is a really knowledgeable person, and all the professors, all the academicians, edu leaders, our heartfelt thanks to you, and feeling so happy to be with you in this amazing session, and my best wishes for the year of 2020 and upcoming 2021. This session, the year which end by pandemic, and the coming session it will give the lot of pleasure for us. So this is the best wishes for me, and hope that this type of sessions will go to all the among all of us, and we'll get the good thoughts, good things for the best path for the all edu leaders. Thanks a lot. Thanks to you, everyone.
So much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karanji. Thanks for coming. Your valuable 300 seconds is very important for all of us. Over to Vaishali. Time of sign off.
Thank
It's
you,
my
sir.
humble request to all of you, please open up your camera for a group photograph. Thank you, all of you. Thanks a lot. So, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of MIT B School, myself, Dr. Vaishali Goel, would like to thank participants and our resource people for spending their time with us. I hope all the participants have got insights related to the 21st century emerging trends in research and paradigm shift in business practices. So, thank you, all of you, once again. Further, I want to tell that an exam will be conducted on 23rd December, which will be MCQ based. So link will be shared to those who are having at least 50% of attendance, and certificate will be given to those who will score minimum 60% marks. So thank you once again.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, sir.
Whether it is possible to share the photograph that you have taken with us?
Yes, please invite you, sir.
Yeah, please, madam, kindly, we need to show the proof that we have attended. Thank you.
Sure, sir, sure.
Thank you, madam.
So thank you, everyone. Samir ji, it's truly very enlightened session. We will discuss further more because you are a very useful person, not only for Indian youth, for the worldwide. Definitely. Once again, we wish to invite you. We wish to invite you, please. So nice of you, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir, Devendra, sir, and I want your opinion about Shukla, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you all.
You always welcome. Anytime
Thank you,
once
sir.
you are in this cold area of India, you are most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can I have your email or contact number, sir, Shukla, sir?
Yes, sir. Very simple, sir. Dr. Dev
Okay, okay.
.ac.in. Dr.
Dr.
D.
Dev. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm very small person, sir. Very simple email ID.
So
Okay, sir. Thank you.
in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, nice of you. So much, sir. Yeah, I think time to sign off. Sayonara to each and everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Good evening.